I built an entire restaurant on the back of a stolen recipe. Not my stolen recipe, mind, but my recipe that they stole. This isn't a pity party. It's a celebration of turning a scandalous betrayal into a thriving culinary empire. Get ready to witness how I transformed a shocking act of theft, the sweetest success story you've ever tasted. In the small coastal town of Fairview, tucked between quiet streets and family-owned shops, there stood a little bakery known as Hearth and Honey. It wasn't fancy or famous, but for the locals a hidden gem, a place where comfort lived in every bite. The bakery's signature item was a honey lavender pie, a dessert so delicate and rich that customers swore it was addictive. The recipe was my creation, a culmination of years of experimentation, sleepless nights, and a relentless pursuit of perfection. It wasn't just a dessert, it was a piece of my identity. But where there's success, envy always finds its way in. Her name was Laura, my best friend, business partner, and the person I trusted more than anyone in the world. We met in culinary school, two dreamers bound by flower-dusted ambitions and the promise of creating something beautiful together. For years, we built Hearth and Honey from the ground up, mixing passion with perseverance. We shared everything until the day I noticed something off. At first, it was small, unexplained absences, private phone call, whispered conversations when she thought I wasn't around. Then came the evening she didn't show up for the dinner rush, the busiest shift of the week. I brushed it off, thinking she was just exhausted. But the next morning, she was gone, and so was my recipe note. It wasn't just any note. Inside were the blueprints of Hearth and Honey, the formula, techniques, the secret balances of texture and flavor that made our pastries legendary. It was everything, years of work in neat, scribbled lines and stained pages. 2 weeks later, the betrayal became public. A sleek new restaurant opened across town, Amber Table. The logo, the colors, even the rustic aesthetic, they all looked painfully familiar. But what cut the deepest was the menu. Front and center was the honey lavender pie, my creation. The same crust texture, the same drizzle pattern, even the same tiny flakes of edible gold leaf, a finishing touch I'd invented on a whim. The first bite of that stolen dessert, tasted under the guise of a curious customer, was like poison wrapped in sugar. People began whispering that Amber Table was the next big thing, that its owner, Laura, was a culinary genius, that her pies were revolutionary. The local paper ran a glowing review, praising her innovation and artistry, and I was left with an empty bake and a hollow chest. Customers started fatting. Some thought Amber Table was our sister brand. Others assumed I was the imitator. Sales plummeted. Even my suppliers began cutting deals with Laura, lured by the prestige of her growing success. The town that once celebrated me now looked past, dazzled by her spot. The bitterness wasn't just emotional,